My girlfriend said that if she wasn't with me, she'd date her hot coworker. I broke up with her.
Well, Dakota, I have a secret for you.
Oh, do tell.
You're looking pretty hot.
My girlfriend and I had been official for about 3 months before this happened. Things were fine in the beginning, but she started acting weird a few weeks ago. By the way, this comes from user Throw My Way. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, submit them there. So she works in retail and has plenty of male colleagues, most of whom she never talked about or even mentioned by name. They were always this guy or that guy. So out of nowhere, she starts bringing up this one guy by name in our conversations. Let's call him Alan.
But don't worry about Alan.
Alan's the guy she tells you not to worry about. Alan's name seems to be popping up every time she brings up work. Whether it's a conversation they had or something that happened at the job irrelevant to him, his input and name always seemed to come up. I didn't think anything of it at first, but I grew suspicious after realizing just how often this name has come up in any of our conversations. My girlfriend also recently started making jokes about leaving me or finding someone else whenever we were joking around.
Okay, I've been there. Get out.
Red alert, my guy. Red alert. Again, I didn't take it seriously at first, but she kept mentioning breaking up in this harmless, joking way too much to make me think there wasn't something on her mind.
Whenever my ex moved a state away to start her new career as a teacher, she was talking about how she won't date other people at her school. And I was like, wait a minute, you're dating me right now?
It was like, yeah, babe, that's crazy because we're dating right now.
One time she kissed me and like I kind of pulled away and she's like, no, this is how you kiss. Remember that. And it felt like she meant to say like, remember that for when you kiss other people. That's how I felt.
I think that's exactly what she was saying.
I got it.
Hey. Then she tells me that Alan, who has a girlfriend, approached her at work and told her that she should go on a date with him and lie about her whereabouts to me.
So funny.
At least she told you, right? Now, I maintained a cool head when I heard about this and jokingly asked her, oh, so you got plans this weekend? We both laughed and I tried to not get overly jealous about it. But after this, his name only came up more and her jokes about breaking up became more frequent, so I got suspicious. I looked through her phone and found a conversation between her and her friend about Alan, and it basically went like this.
Who are you gonna be?
Girlfriend. Oh my God, there's this guy at work who keeps on asking me to go out with him, and I just keep telling him no, but he's just like so persistent. And oh my God, you should see him. He's like so attractive. Friend.
Happy friend.
Friend.
Oh, girl, what are you gonna do?
Girlfriend. Obviously, I'm not gonna do anything because I'm with someone, but honestly, the only thing stopping me is the fact that I'm with OP. He was one of the guys I originally liked when I started working here. Am I crazy? When you stop by the store, you have to see him.
Oh, stop. You're not crazy at all. Ooh, I can't wait.
Said, ooh.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Ah!
Just a knife in my heart.
This story's giving me trust issues. Remember, never date a girl with hot coworkers.
Exactly.
I confronted her about the conversation and she got super squirrely when I said, quote, so you like that guy Alan from your work? Is he the guy you have in mind when you joke about leaving me? That's a good way to put her on blast, that's for sure. She basically tried to rationalize everything she said, but just the way she reacted showed me she clearly felt more for this dude than she let on. She got this big time stupid grin when I mentioned his name and could barely keep her story straight about the conversation she had with her friend. She kept saying, I don't like him, but yes, I think he's attractive, which really pissed me off. I got especially annoyed at the fact that this guy had a girlfriend, and she was basically saying that if I wasn't in her life, she would have gladly been his side woman or whatever.
I like when he says, you would be my side woman or whatever.
My side woman.
Not even my main chick.
My side lady. It's very humiliating to think that she sort of fell for that type of guy. Obviously, she doesn't love him, but the fact that she said she would date him if I wasn't in the picture makes it seem like this guy is just as good of an option as I am.
Just nice guys finish last.
Oh, this guy Alan, all he is hot and a coworker.
Such a bad boy.
He's not like me. I mean, I'm not trying to slam on OP there, but like, leave.
Yeah.
Leave.
Come on.
I feel like a lot of people put these stories out there because they're like, I don't leave, right? Brother, you're leaving.
Hey,
pack your bags.
What's the hard thing to do?
Stay, I would think.
Really?
To stay in this?
I think the hard thing for OP is to leave. And usually the hard thing to do is the right thing to do.
It just becomes a gut check, man. It's like once your gut tells you that like she wants to hook up with this guy at her work and like leave you, like it's your gut's telling you what to do. So this guy Alan's trying to cheat on his girlfriend with her and she's bragging about it to her friends. What the actual F? This works in retail, and I make more in 2 hours of work than he makes in 20 hours.
And my thing's bigger than his.
Yeah. What is this? I don't get it. I know she didn't cheat on me, but this seems like the precursor to it. I'm also worried because if this guy had her basically ready to jump on him, and he's pretty much a bum, then what happens when somebody competent and good looking comes around? So pause for 1 second. You are, in effect, calling your girlfriend a bum. She has the same job as him.
Yeah, and your incel showing dog.
So maybe your girlfriend's looking for someone who maybe, I don't know, shows her a shred of human respect in the context of what she does for work. Because working retail, yeah, it's not glamorous, but slam dunking on Alan for not making as much money as you, you're doing the same thing to your girl. Just putting that out there. So I feel like I can't trust her at all anymore. If that's all it takes for her to be willing to go after someone, then how the heck can I trust her? That dude was a bum. Sweet Jesus, I don't know what to do. I can't tell if I'm overreacting or not. Am I out of line? And there's an edit. Shout out to the people in retail. Nice save. Him being in retail isn't a fault of his. I exaggerated when I said I make in 2 hours what he makes in 20. It's more like a 3-to-1 ratio.
So I make even more than he does.
I don't know the guy or his potential career paths, but I brought up the retail aspect to show that I'm more established in my career than he is. Mostly he's a scum. He's trying to cheat on his girlfriend with my girlfriend, not because he works in retail. And there's an update.
Thanks for the clarification, OP. I think less of you now.
I'm sure everyone in the comments immediately bashed him for exactly what I was saying. So let's get into the update. What's the prognosis? Are they staying together or are they breaking up?
Dude, they're breaking up.
They gotta break up. At this point,
Yeah.
You don't have the trust. That was low-key, pretty kind of slimy.
And you both don't deserve each other.
Well, I had to talk with my girlfriend and it got pretty aggravating. She basically said that he's nothing serious and it was just a crush, like so many of you said. She also said that she didn't want to be his side woman, but would date him if he didn't have a girlfriend and if she wasn't with me. And that wasn't too nice to hear. I asked her, why the heck would you want to date this guy? And she responded, because he's a good guy. My head practically exploded. Turns out, oh, he's a good guy? Oh, he's a good guy and I'm not a good guy? All I do is yell at you. I'm not a good guy? This sounds, it feels like this is like a hypothetical question that's gotten out of line. Mm-hmm. She's literally like, if I wasn't dating you and he wasn't dating her, I would date him. Yeah. But guess what? You're both dating. This is like, would you love me if I was a worm?
This is exactly what this is.
But you're not a worm, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I started yelling, he's a good guy. He's trying to use you as his side lady, and you have the effing audacity to claim he's a good guy? She got super defensive and started fumbling her words, and I exiled her from the house. The next day, today, we spent all day trying to talk about it. She honestly had been okay up until this point, but nothing special or noteworthy. Her disrespectful comments and then this all compounded, but I still wanted to make sure I wasn't making a mistake. Oof, yeah, brother, I think you need to not be in a relationship at all and look in yourself.
Grow up a little bit.
Yeah, love people for who they are, not where they're at. She was really hard to talk to today. When I asked her if they had ever done anything together, she said not at all, which I truly believe. But when I asked her, why do you think he's a good guy? She avoided the question 5 times before I got the real answer out of her. Conversation was as follows. Me, the thing I'm most bothered by is that you would not only date this guy, but also claim he's a good guy to my face, even though he's clearly a piece of Why the heck would you do that? What could possibly be so redeeming about this guy that you had the nerve to say he's a good guy? Her.
Well, he's really book smart and intelligent.
Me. So that's enough to overlook the fact that he's obviously a cheater? You're an effing idiot. Hang up.
That was so productive and such a great conversation you had with your girlfriend.
Hey, buddy, I'm starting to think you're not a very good guy.
You know, I imagine this actually didn't happen, and he's rewriting it to make him look like he was the hero.
Oh, yeah. This is like when you have like the argument in the shower by yourself like an hour later, and you're like, oh, dang it. Oh, I should have said that. Something about her saying that just drove me over the edge. So effing disturbing. disturbing that she would defend this guy. You're getting disturbing, my guy.
So I read all the books in the world.
And then everyone clapped. It made me realize she clearly felt more for him than just physical attraction. I dumped her, told her to never call me again, and now she's insulting me, calling me insecure right now, like I give a crap. I'm glad I don't have to deal with her dumb butt anymore. I'm glad she doesn't have to deal with a guy who clearly, right beneath the surface, was just seething with hatred at the slightest imbalance of the homeostasis of the relationship.
Yeah.
You were ready to just go off. And you clearly don't respect your ex-girlfriend in any way, regardless of how she feels about Alan.
I'm just glad this is over. You could have skipped a few steps, but it's over now.
You got a superiority complex, my guy. TLDR, my girlfriend's an idiot. Oof. Edit, to give some more clarity, I've been seeing her for about 6 months total, 3 months of dating and 3 months of a relationship. Prior to her, I had just come out of a relationship where I was cheated on in the first few months. There we go. And basically got the excuse I wasn't sure if I really loved you or not. I actually made the mistake of taking her back and staying with the cheater for 1 more year. That relationship was terrible in so many ways that it has affected my ability to trust women. I actually thought I had found someone trustworthy in this new girl, but clearly she got bored of me, or perhaps was just like my other ex in that she wasn't too sure yet. Well, she'd only been dating you for 3 months. That is not, you're acting like you were gonna get married.
Yeah.
I definitely have trust issues, and she knew that but couldn't help herself, so I removed myself from the situation.
I think that was best for everyone.
That felt like moving the goalpost there a little bit. Because earlier in the story, he's talking about the banter of like, haha, well, I'm going to leave you or we're going to break up. And it's like, that was a back and forth. That wasn't one-sided. It was only once he discovered there actually was a guy who she thought was cool and a good guy that he became uncomfortable by it.
Yeah.
It seems. Anyway, we have a second update here. Let's see what happens. Just a note, we always had an open phone policy. This wasn't about not trusting each other at all. We just both agreed neither of us had anything to hide, so we didn't really care if we wanted to take a look. This was the first time I went through her phone because I had a bad feeling and was somewhat unfortunately vindicated. I got really pissed after reading the texts and ended up breaking it off with her after she tried defending herself and claimed he was actually a good guy. But he had a girlfriend and he was willing to cheat on her with my girlfriend, which honestly, that sounds like maybe hyperbole. I'm not sure. But it could be true. So I had a few days off to really think about what happened that night when I basically just told her to get out of my life. A decent amount of the comments were pointing out that my aggressive way of bringing up the issue probably played a big part into how she reacted. They were totally right. After a few days of thinking about it, I realized I let my anger get the best of me and made it impossible for her to be heard at all. So last night, I agreed to meet with her to hear what she had to say about it all. I could have just ignored her completely, but I was actually really interested in how she could possibly think she could explain this away. So I met with her and she began apologizing, saying things like, I didn't deserve that at all. It was immature and disrespectful to the relationship. She again explained how nothing had ever happened between them, not even a hug, and that she always rejected his advances, never leading him on once. He really just wouldn't leave her alone about it. I told her that it didn't seem like she put her foot down hard enough with him if he kept coming back, and it seemed to me she let it happen. She said she did tell him to stop every single time, but that he really just wouldn't leave her alone. I asked her about the bragging, showing him off, and the weird sort of flattery, and she told me this. Here's where it gets interesting to me. She started explaining to me that she had a little crush on him when she first started the job before we even started dating, but they never pursued each other. She thought he was cute but didn't act on it, and soon after starting the job, she met me. We got serious, and in her own words, she forgot that I had a crush on him, even though she still found him attractive. But something happened after we had been official for 2 months, and he started aggressively pursuing her. At first, she didn't even think of it because he was a flirty guy and just kept shooting him down. She knew at that time that he only wanted to have the spicy sleep with her, so she didn't take it seriously, but he started asking her out to dinner and talking about romantic dates, and something in her just clicked back on. The feelings from the crush she had on Alan before came flooding back, and suddenly she was actually having an internal struggle with her feelings. On one hand, she knew he was a guy, but she was just so physically attracted to him that she started to like him a little. She knew he only wanted her for spicy sleep, but when she started talking about dinners and stuff, she started thinking that he actually liked her as a person. When she started thinking that way, she just couldn't help how attracted she was to him, and the crush came back. All right, bro, so at this point, we're breaking up.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, fine, if you're that attracted to this guy, go
date
date him.
him.
Go date him. And you know what? You don't have to be that mad about it because you guys were dating for 3 months.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. This is what dating is for. And if you want to be honest about it, you go, you know what? I do kind of feel like I want to pursue something with this guy.
Yeah.
And you go, yikes, well, that's not what I want to hear, but I guess we should break up and move on with our lives. You don't have to make it a Mount Vesuvius eruption, you know. Anyway, she was flattered that the person she secretly had eyes for in the beginning was now crushing on her, and she just couldn't help the way it made her feel, even though she was now with me. At the same time, it also made her super uncomfortable because she liked me way more than she ever liked him. She told me that he didn't have anything that I didn't already have. She's just as physically attracted to me as she is to him, which is possibly true, as I've never seen this guy. And even though she said he was book smart and whatever, that I was way better than him in every way. Sounds like compensating me, dude. She didn't even conceive of him as a threat to the relationship because she knew that she would never do anything with him or leave me for him, but unfortunately, she said some dumb stuff to her friend in a moment of excitement when she started feeling flattered by her former crush crushing on her. I was really appreciative of her honesty, and even though it was tough to hear, I didn't even want to snap back. It was sort of amazing to hear. So I asked her about the whole defending him when I asked her how he could possibly be a good guy. She really didn't want to answer the question, so I kind of answered it for her because it doesn't feel like there is an answer to that question. It feels like the answer to that question is, oh, he's not, but he's really hot, you know?
I just want to see what's under his clothing layer down below.
In the words of Estelle, don't like his baggy jeans, but I might like what's underneath them.
Lava.
Shout out. There was a comment on this previous thread that really stuck with me regarding this exact question. I forgot who posted it, and it was actually a sort of snide remark, but surprisingly wise. Basically, it said, she had to tell you he was a good guy because she knew if she told you the real reason that she was attracted to him, he's cute and charming, that you would just flip out more. Makes sense. She deludes herself into believing he's a good guy because she wants to be with him, because she's really attracted to him, and she wouldn't want to date a scumbag, so he must not be a scumbag. Contrary to the evidence. Self-delusion at its finest. I had those quotes in mind when I told her that I understand why you're hesitant to answer, because ultimately it's a lose-lose for you. You could either lie to me and say he's a good guy to make it seem like you're not shallow, but then it would seem like you're more than just physically attracted to him and actually like his character. By trying to avoid hurting my feelings, you made it seem like you actually liked him more than I previously thought. Or you could be honest and just say you found him cute and charming even though he was a scumbag. You knew he was you were so physically attracted to him that you couldn't accept he was actually a bad guy. If you just had honestly said, I would shag him, but never be with him, I may have been mad at hearing that, but it would have been way better than listening to you lie on his behalf so you don't seem shallow, because it only amplified the situation and changed the dynamics. She was pretty shocked at me saying that and told me I honestly never wanted to say why I was attracted to him because I just thought you would flip out. But yes, he's just cute and charming. I know that doesn't make him a good person and wash away his despicable behavior, but I just didn't want to say to you when you were so mad at me. It's just a physical attraction that was compounded by the crush I had on him before I met you. I don't know the guy at all, really, aside from talking occasionally at work, but he's not you, and I wouldn't trade you for him ever. You're just as cute and charming as him, if not more so. But you have so many more amazing qualities, and all he has is looks. It was the weirdest feeling. On one hand, her honesty cleared up exactly how she felt about him, but I was still a little unsure about how much she liked him. Brother, what are we doing?
Why are we entertaining this man?
What are we talking about here?
Find someone else attractive this deeply? Out.
The only reason that she has only a physical attraction to this guy, because she doesn't know anything else about him yet. So, I don't know.
Yep, she's just window shopping.
I think now is the time to appreciate that you had an honest, open discourse about this, and you both move on with your lives, right?
Yeah. That seems like the right thing to do, but I bet you we're not even halfway done.
Oh, no, we're getting close.
Oh, we're about to read a conclusion here?
I hope they just move on.
Same.
The amount that she liked him is not nearly as deep as I thought it was, but the thing is, it's still there. She just admitted to being able to overlook his huge red flags due to physical attraction, but also admitted that it was sort of silly. And brother, she's overlooking your red flags, I'm sure, as well. You don't sound like you're red flagless, but regardless, let's continue. She also told me about how her and the friend she had the conversation with talked about what Alan was doing to her that night, and they both agreed it was gross and that she would never do it, but she couldn't help but feel somewhat flattered when he did those things to her. She's got to be the worst liar I have ever encountered, but I didn't get a notion of deceit in our conversation. I apologized for yelling at her and calling her an effing idiot, and I explained that I understood why she was afraid to be honest with me from the get-go, given the way I was acting, and that I'm not interested in losing control of my emotions like that anymore. We're not together because I still feel weird and uncomfortable about the whole thing. I told her I appreciated her honesty, but it was still very concerning hearing just how easily she developed feelings for someone who isn't even a good person, and that I have a hard time believing believing it wouldn't happen again. I caught myself and told her I've heard those things before with other women during our relationship, but it never got nearly as far as she took it, and it was still a very disrespectful thing to do. I know we as humans can't help who we're physically attracted to, but it's very concerning to hear it from your ex/girlfriend or whatever. She doesn't want to be with him and wants to be with me. That much is very clear. Nor did she want to be his side piece because honestly, she has more respect for herself than that. But she couldn't deny that she did say she would go out with him if it wasn't for me, even though she chalked it up to a misunderstanding of what she meant. And that when her friend talked about it more with her, they agreed he was a gross guy, so she probably wouldn't either way. That's just a mess. It's time to go. It's time to leave.
I thought we graduated from middle school, guys.
It's time. Move along. On to the next. I still don't know how I feel about it. Yes, you do. But I do want to see what you all think about this type of situation. You do know how you think. I would really hope you know how you think about this situation. It clearly happens in relationships, but it's scary to think that all it takes to lose control of your emotions is looks and charm. She didn't do anything with him, but I don't know. This still comes across as off-putting, even if she was 100% honest, which I think she pretty much was. And by the way, I'm being 100% honest with you when I say you can listen to full episodes with stories like this on Apple Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and 49 consecutive days worth of stories will be at your fingertips, and you can listen to your heart's content.
I just wish you would be like my dad and my childhood dog and take me out to the woods and put me out of my misery.
Please. Honestly, please, just rip the Band-Aid off, man.
Yeah, dude. We know what we need to do.
There's no going back, because I don't feel like you're the kind of guy, from the context I've gotten from this story, to be able to actually move on from this. 3 months from now, when you guys get in a fight, you're going to bring this up.
Oh my gosh, she's like cute and charming, but like you have all these other qualities, but like blah, 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 blah.
And that could be true. It's like she could be honest when she's saying like, yeah, I was attracted to this guy, and like I do know he's kind of a and I've talked to my friend about it, and yeah, he does. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to date somebody who's attracted to scumbags. Anyway, let's finish this story. There's a mini update here. I forgot to mention this part of the story, but I asked my ex if she would tell Alan's girlfriend about his attempts at infidelity, and she said no. She said it would only cause problems at her job, and she didn't want her name involved, which is fair.
Fair.
Look out for yourself. In the context of the job, it's like, you don't want to mess that up.
Yeah. And if you want to be a man about it, you could do it yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, if that's how you really feel about that, you do it.
Would you mind doing this one favor for me?
I don't know. Maybe it would cause problems, but I read it as very sketch. Like she doesn't want to piss Alan off. Maybe I'm paranoid though. I mean, look, she's already your ex, brother. Stop caring what she thinks about Alan. It's over.
Yep. It's time to hit the gym, watch some more Andrew Tate, and go back to the rock you crawled under.
Maybe we're being a little harsh on him.
Are we?
But there were some, I don't know, like...
I yelled at her and called her an idiot.
I think the way you got checked by the comments in your first post, by being like, I make 10 times more than he does, and by the way, brother, that's where your girlfriend worked. So you clearly respect your girlfriend at the same amount as you respect Alan in that context, until you got checked and then backtracked. So who's to say, I don't know. I feel like you're trying to temperature check your own thoughts and feelings with the internet instead of just being honest about how you're thinking. You're thinking that you don't want to date this woman. Don't date her. Yeah. It's over.
And we know how you think and how you move and how you go about things.
It's a little high horsey. Feels like he's a little bit up on a high horse.
Really is.
Although I do support, like, if this guy really is trying to cheat on his girlfriend deserves to know. But do that yourself.
Yeah, come on.
If you feel that. If that's how you're feeling, you can do that.
And your ex is now single, so we know what she's going to be doing with Alan. She's not going to have enough time to tell Alan's girlfriend what Alan's doing.
Yeah, take the matter into your own hands.
That's the end of that story.